end parts here, some people might be curious about. After we checked the entire front end, we found out that it had bad inner and outer tie rod ends. And just for anybody who doesn't know what an inner and outer tie rod end is, this right here, it would be the outer tie rod end, and this part right here is the inner tie rod end, and it's protected by a boot. There's some fluid up here, and it's like a little ball joint type mechanism that screws into what's called the rack and pinion, which actually steers the car. What we're going to do first is just go ahead and loosen this nut up here that locks the alignment in place. So unscrew that. This is called a tie rod end separator. See the elevation there? I'm going to put it right here between the spindle and the joint. Show you something real quick. I see many people take a hammer and try to hit this like that. Don't do that. It's not going to work. All you're going to do is mushroom this tip, and it's not going to come out of there. So, oh, got lucky. Only took one hit. Alright, so now I've separated it from the spindle. Alright, and I have my lock nut loose back here. So, what I need to do in order to get my alignment at least close, when I go back with the new outer tie rod in, I need to count these turns. So it was straight down, so I'm going to start counting. 1, 2, 3, 11, 12, 13, 14. I could feel it's getting loose. Kind of pulling on it. Okay, 14 and a half. It's out. So what I'm going to do, go back with the new one, just spin it on 14 and a half times, starting right where I left off at the other one. And what will happen is my alignment will be next to perfect. It won't really be off all that far as a toe in or a toe out, and I'll be able to drive it to the alignment shop. And that's really the only purpose of this count. You don't want to rely on this for long term because you're just going to wear your tires out. This is the result of not getting a front end alignment. Perfect example. Ball tire. By the way, this tire is about $140. Okay? Treads over here, no treads over here. So if you don't mind getting this, then just don't even pay attention to that. But most people don't like throwing money away. So cut the factory strap off of here. And then what I'm going to do is slide this boot off. What's going to be exposed after I take this particular boot off is this. Okay? And you can use a couple of tools to take this off. They have an inner tie rod end socket, this big long socket you could put over here, and what it does is it grabs this, grabs the inner tie rod end, and it turns counterclockwise to come off. There's several different tools that you can use to do this. You can use a pair of pliers, a big wrench if you can get in there. Some people I've seen use an air chisel to get it started turning in the right direction. In other cases, when all those things fail, including the socket, we've had to use acetylene and oxygen to heat it up to actually loosen this fitting, and then it just slides off like butter. So, but only use that as a last resort, even if you have it available. Something else to note about this is all fairly easy to reassemble. I mean, you just turn it, you get it snug. You lock the joint in there, and don't forget to put the parts on in the order you took them off, because what you have here, okay, you have the inner tie rod in, and you slide the boot on, you tighten, you put a new strap on the boot here, you put the little clip on the strap of the boot back here. So if you actually forget to do that, and you have the tie rod end on, you've done all your counts and put it back together, then you realize that you left this little clip off. Guess what? You got to start all over again. So just take your time and put it back together in the order that you took it apart, and you'll be able to do this job without paying high prices to a mechanic. By the way, if you're not able to do that, just call Jake's Mobile. We charge fair and reasonable prices to do this type of work, and we come out on site and do it.
How did you find out? How did you get our name?
From the car
Alright, so the way I understand it, he picked the card up from Rite Aid, left some cards out there, and we found out that he had gotten an estimate from a repair shop to do some wheel bearing and front end work. And the estimate I thought was pretty high, so what we offered to do is recheck the car and make sure that's what the problem was. Actually, that was not the problem. They were close, but he was actually being a little overcharged for some things. So what we did is we replaced the parts that actually needed to be changed, and probably saved him about $300 or $400. All right, I just handed the keys to the customer and now finished all the work we needed to do with the front end. He's going to get his own tires, take it to a front end alignment shop, and from there he'll call us to finish the struts up. But for now, that's all we can do until he gets the tires in alignment. To change the plugs on a 2007 Chrysler PT Cruiser, what we did is we removed the air cleaner box and unplugged these sensors. Just this, the idle speed control motor, and you have this one bolt back here that supports the back of the plenum. You have to get that out. Take the hoses off right here, and then we should be able to leave the throttle cable on and leave the mass airflow sensor plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the plenum bolts. So we went ahead and loosened the, have to take it out all the way. You just need to get it out your way so you can access the 4 plugs. Let's say you don't have a spark plug socket and you're just using a 5/8 socket. The spark plugs are recessed down into these holes. Some out, instead of using a pair of pliers, or if you don't have a magnet, is just take the wire off the coil and use it to extract the plug. So you just get it loose and stick the boot right back down in the hole, press on it, and the spark plug comes right out. And this works on all types of cars, and you won't do any damage to the plug or to the cylinder. Hey everybody, this is Jake with Jake's Mobile Auto on YouTube, and I actually bought this new Milwaukee gun, and I just wanted to show you how it works to remove a tire. It's a really powerful gun. I believe it has up to 700 foot-pounds of torque in reverse. So, M18, and this is a 98 Ford Expedition XLT. We're going to be doing some brakes on it. Actually, the purpose of this video is just to show you how well this gun works to remove wheels, where if you are using a compressor, maybe a small compressor or a large compressor, one of those noisy compressors, it's completely unnecessary because this gun can really handle the job, and it's got a nice long life battery. Comes with 2 batteries, and I've already used this about 4 or 5 times, and it doesn't even seem to be sacrificing any power. But anyway, enough talking. Let me show you how well this works here. Now there are a couple of levels on here that you can set it to. There's a 1 and a 2, and I'm not too I don't use this for low power. I use it for high power, so I always have it on 2. It also has this little LED light here to tell you how much time you have left on the battery. And like I said, I've already used this several times, and the battery hasn't even started to decrease. So if you're thinking about getting this type of impact, quit smoking cigarettes. That's the result. Anyway. There you go. Nothing. I mean, it's just effortless, fast. All right, and that's the tip for the day about battery-operated impacts. This is the M18 by Milwaukee, half-inch drive with the XC 5.0 lithium battery. So please check out this video, see what you think, leave your comments, feedback, and check out some of the other videos too. I have lots of tips and tricks on for the everyday mechanic, for the DIY guy. A lot of tips and tricks that might help you to be able to get your own jobs done. Thanks for watching. This is Jake.